What's going on, Nasteey Nation? It's Nasteey, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over my top 5 support picks for patch 9.8. So just as a friendly reminder, if you guys are new to the channel, if you guys have not watched my support tier list in the past, I tend to wait a little bit after the patch has actually dropped because I want to be able to base it off of raw statistics, and I want to be able to base it off of my personal experience rather than just making predictions. So the patch has been out for a little bit now, and I've able to, between my personal experience and taking some look at the data, able to put together a top 5 list. So if you guys are able to go on to enjoy this list, then a like would be highly appreciated. As I mentioned, I did have to put some time and some effort and some research into compiling this list, so a like is greatly appreciated. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Without further ado though, let's get into the video. At number 5 on my list, I have Tarik. If you guys have been watching competitive play recently, then you might have noticed that Tarik Sona has kind of been the worst bot lane to go up against in the entire game right now. It's pretty much pick or ban for the most part, and Tarik is one half of it. Tarik is definitely a good champion. It's not Sona completely carrying that lane. Tarik does give a lot to that bot lane, and he is a big reason that that bot lane is so incredibly powerful right now. The reason I have Tarik at 5 and not higher up on the list is because in that bot lane, Tarik is the more supportive one. Sona is the one doing a little bit more damage. Tarik is there just to provide more heals and shields and just provide his ultimate as a whole. And at the same time, I don't think Tarik is super OP when it comes to picking him in solo queue. He definitely works a little bit better in competitive environment. At the same time though, I have played a little bit of Tarik recently. I played him both with and without Sona. And even when he's without Sona, he does have a little bit of carry potential if you are able to time your ultimate really well and if you're able to line up your E efficiently. So as a whole, I don't think Tarik had enough power to necessarily make the top side of my list, the 1, 2, 3 slots. But at the same time, Tarik does provide a lot at the moment. He's an underdog pick. He's a pick that I didn't necessarily see having so much success. But at the same time, he does have the second highest win rate right now out of all supports. And I think most of that is just due to the fact that he is paired with Sona so much. Even when he's without Sona, he's still putting up a good fight. And that's why I have Tarik at number 5 on my list. Coming in at number 4 on my list, I have Nami. The reason that I have Nami at 4 and not higher is because I feel like Nami, A, is very team reliant at times, and B, I think she has less carry potential than the other picks that I have higher on my list. At the moment, I think that we definitely have more of a carry-oriented meta for the support role. So even though Nami is able to have a little bit more playmaking potential than some other champions such as Soraka or Janna, that is why you are seeing her on this list. She doesn't necessarily have the power to make it in the top 3. With all that being said though, Nami does have solid CC between her Q and her R. If you are able to land those abilities, she has good sustain, she has good poke, she's very reliable form of slows and damage output with her E. Overall, she's a lane bully. She also scales really well into the late game. Nami has been a champion for a very long time now that has pretty much always been at my top 5 list. Unfortunately, because I do play a lot of Nami, I am sad to see her dropping a little bit lower in the win rate column, and she's not quite top tier as she was in the past. She used to be my number 1, number 2 pick for a while. Nevertheless, Nami at number 4 on my list is a solid pick right now, and a pick that I would definitely recommend for your solo queue games. At number 3 on my list, I have Lux. So Lux has kind of taken the sole spot as the number 1 AP carry support in the game for me recently. Lux is a champion that I doubted for a really long time. I always thought Lux kind of suited more of the mid lane role rather than the support role. I've always preferred champions like Xerath, Zyra, Brand in the support role. But however, Lux has kind of risen in popularity recently. High elo players are playing her and winning. Low elo players are playing her and winning. I'm playing her and winning. So overall, Lux is just having a lot of success right now. Some of that reason is due to the recent rune page that kind of rose in popularity. There was the Aftershock rune page that kind of became popular in Korea, and a lot of people did start playing that. At the same time though, even if you want to go standard with the standard rune page, Lux is just a solid champion right now. She has a lot of damage output. She has pick potential. She's fairly safe. Especially because of how long range she is. You can kind of hang out in the back of team fights. If you position well, you will be able to carry fights. Strong lane phase, strong mid game, strong late game, one-shot potential. Lux really has a lot to offer right now, and that's why I think Lux is at a solid number 3 spot on my list at the moment. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Zilean. So Zilean is a champion that for a very long time now, I did not want to believe was a good champion because I did not personally enjoy playing him. But recently I decided to invest some time into him, and I can't deny the results. This champion is absolutely broken. I had so much fun playing this champion, And I also had a lot of just outstanding performances on this champion recently. He's just got a lot to offer. He's got damage, he's got CC, he's got a revive that brings any champion that you want back to full HP. This champion is absolutely insane. It's no secret that they're picking him a lot in competitive play because he's so good at the moment. I'm kind of surprised that he hasn't been nerfed yet because he's been so popular in competitive play. I think a big reason for that is mainly due to the fact that he doesn't have a super high win rate in solo queue at the moment. But at the same time, it's just mainly because people aren't playing him a lot. If more people do start to realize how good Zilean is and pick him up in his solo queue games, he may get nerfed in the near future. But for now, we could definitely get our free elo by playing Zilean in our solo queue games and picking up some free wins along the way. And finally, taking the number 1 spot on my list for patch 9.8 in the support role is going to be Sona. So at the very beginning of the video, I already mentioned Tarik Sona bot lane is absolutely terrorizing both competitive play and solo queue. Of the pair, Sona is definitely the one that is having the carry pants on. She's the one carrying the lane phase, carrying the mid game, carrying the late game, putting out all this damage while also providing CC and providing heals. If you want to play Sona without Tarik, you'll be fine. If you want to play Sona with Tarik, you'll be absolutely unstoppable. As a whole though, Sona right now has the highest win rate in the game as far as support champions go. Absolutely busted pick at the moment. There's no denying that Sona is number 1 at the moment. Definitely get your Sona games in, get your free LP before this champion is nerfed. She definitely will be nerfed in the near future, just considering how much success she's having in both the competitive scene and in solo queue. So once again, play Sona, get your free LP, have fun on the champion, and have fun stomping. So that is going to wrap up my top 5 support picks for patch 9.8, but now let's get into some honorable mentions. These champions are not going to be in a specific order. These are just a bunch of champions that I kind of had in consideration for my top 5, but didn't quite make it to my top 5. Coming up first on the honorable mention list is going to be Zyra. So Lux is, as I mentioned, my go-to AP support pick at the moment. If I had a second one, I would probably pick Zyra. Zyra has the next highest win rate out of all of them. Xerath and Brand have kind of fallen in the win ratios recently. So Zyra is going to be the next one up. She's got a lot to offer. She's got a ton of damage, ton of CC, strong laning, and strong team fighting. So Zyra as a whole, just a really strong pick, and I won't go too much more into it. She's just a really strong pick at the moment. Next up, I have Nautilus. So Nautilus got a bunch of buffs recently. The reason I'm hesitant to put him on the top 5 list is because his win rate is sitting around 51% right now between all ranks. I don't think that's super insane. I do, however, think that a large reason that his win rate is only around 51% at the moment is because his play rate is going higher and higher and higher. And the more times that people play champion, the more times they tend to bring the win rate down, just because a lot of those people that are playing the champion aren't familiar with the champion. So even though I'm a little hesitant to say that Nautilus is super good at the moment, I would kind of think that he's going to be top 5 eventually. At the moment right now, he's just an honorable mention on my list. The next 2 champions that I want to bring up are Thresh and Blitzcrank, and the reason that I want to bring up these champions together is because they both have the same win condition at the moment. When you're playing these champions, you land your hooks, you win games. You miss your hooks, you lose games. It's really as simple as that. So these champions, their kit as a whole just has a lot for them. They have a lot of playmaking potential. And so it's as simple as you land your hooks, you win games. I think that these champions are just going to always be good, and it's going to really just come down to the player. So if you have a lot of experience on these champions, or if you are just, on a hot streak with these champions and playing really well and landing a lot of your hooks and a lot of your skill shots, then I would definitely continue playing them rather. These aren't champions that I would necessarily recommend you pick up. The landing of the skill shots can be somewhat difficult. So not necessarily champions that I would recommend you pick up, but rather if they're already in your champion pool, go ahead and play them because they're not necessarily top 5 material, but if you are able to land your skill shots, then you will be able to have a lot of success on these champions. And finally, the very last champion that I'll mention in today's video is going to be Morgana. Morgana is another champion that is just always going to be good if you play her correctly. Very similar to Thresh and Blitz. You just have a win condition. If you meet that win condition, you will win. Morgana is a counter pick champion. I don't think I've ever picked Morgana just as a blind pick. I always pick Morgana as a counter pick, and I would recommend you guys all do the same. She's not going to excel if you just blind pick her and pick her into any random composition, but Morgana rather excels when you're going to pick her specifically in a specific matchup. If you're up against a Thresh, Alistar, Blitzcrank, any champion really that relies on engage and relies on CC, just pick Morgana, put your black shield on your allies, and you'll just be able to win the game that way. It's actually pretty simple. So that's my one condition that I pick Morgana in. As you might have noticed, a lot of these honorable mentions have kind of specific win conditions that you meet, whereas the top 5 are just you pick these and you win. So go ahead and take your picks. Any of these champions that I mentioned in today's video should be good enough to play in your solo queue games, and you should be having a lot of success on them. These are definitely my top picks for support at the moment in patch 9.8. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this video. I hope you guys were able to enjoy this video or find it helpful. If you were, then be sure to leave a like on the video. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, or if you're new to the channel. I upload everything support related, so you can expect to see a lot more videos just like this in the near future. Anyways, I would just like to thank each and every one of you who did stick around to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.